Startup is the system from Christiania, where they kind of created their own, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be like what I've found very, your own district heating system, and you actually make this a paid system that you, just like ice cold, that you could put in money. So welcome to you, and you two of you, I don't know, are you Johannes or you Christopher?
I'm Johannes, yeah.
Johannes, and welcome to you.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Well, let me start. So, yes, we have been developing Nabovarme for... so we are Nabovarme. In Christiania, we have been developing Nabovarme for 20 years, 25 years. Currently, we are on a project where we are digitalizing the whole infrastructure. So we are putting in smart meters that we are developing ourselves. So this is a presentation about that. So Nabovarme is a consumer cooperative. We are producing heating and distributing heating throughout Christiania. The line here is showing Christiania in Copenhagen, Christianshavn, and all the red spots is distribution centers, production centers. On the right here you see all our users. You can see their current status as red or green. Green means that they are connected to the central service. Red means that they are not connected and we need to fix them. So currently we are pumping out heating to about 350 users on a daily basis. We have production centers as shown. And I think I'll just take care of it. We are enabling users with monitoring and self-administration interfaces. And Nabovarme replaced an older, more manual system where we had once a year our administration would walk around and take measurements and jot them down on paper and put them in a spreadsheet. That was like 5 years ago. So now we are striving for a more automatic solution where we send data back to central service on a minute basis. We have Comstop meters installed in most of the households, and we were investigating a solution from Comstop in order to send back the data and get the data in our hands, but it was too expensive. So we developed our own design. We established the following requirements. So it had to be minimal hardware expenses for the customers. We didn't want a subscription plan because you can't get Christianized to pay monthly. So we wanted to use open source technology because we are open source evangelists, and we wanted a user-centric interface. And then we wanted it prepaid because that's a great idea. And that's awesome, yeah. So if you can, I don't think this one is working anymore. So this is a Christian and he lived he has been living through the previous systems, and he probably started out by buying his wood and burn it in a furnace in his own home. And then he went into a situation where suddenly remote heating was installed in his home, and he had monthly bills and he was generating debt. So we wanted to get into that situation and present a prepaid solution to him, where he would be able to basically see a relationship between his consumption and what he's paying for it upfront. So ideally the solution would also make it impossible for him to consume when he didn't pay. Yes. So this is an overview of our system. We have developed production centers, Nabovarme's post-production consumption. Here we have a furnace that is connected to an oil boiler. It's producing heating, and in people's homes we have Comstop meters. This one is open. We developed a circuit board that we have put inside that is called the meter logger. It's developed and produced in China. Developed here and produced in China. It's producing samples that are sent back to a central service with an administration interface with a minute-by-minute overview, real time. We are using a backbone in Christiania. Christiania has its own internet supply, and people have hotspots in their homes, so we were able to, what you can see on the left here, you can see that we are connected to people's own hotspots and we are then relaying information back to the central service. Furthermore, each of the meter logger devices is able to extend the reach and the coverage of Wi-Fi by enabling other meters to jump onto it. So currently we have about 5 levels deep, net traversal trees spread all around Christiania, and they're green most of the time. Yes, so we were investigating Comstop solutions because we have Comstop meters and there was a little space in here where we can put some stuff. And we wanted that stuff to generate the samples and throw them back at us. But Comstop solutions were too expensive and they were using closed protocols, and we are open source to the bone, so that was not our way to go. So we developed a power supply unit and we developed a meter logger device that is, with these data lanes, is connected to the Comstop meter, and it's sending back data to the central service. Furthermore, we have an external antenna so we can get about 50 to 100 meters coverage. Yeah, and the communication module fits right in. The lid can close. It's awesome, and yeah. So here we have the self-administration interface on the phone. It's pretty. It doesn't have the UX of Barry, I would say. There is buttons and you can press them, and there is a chart that is real-time updated. So as you saw in Barry, we can detect. We have an idea about doing some frequency analysis to detect consumption behavior, for example, and tell people that, hey, you shouldn't put your carpet on your radiator because then you're paying us for nothing, which we actually detected. And we can do all those things because we are a closed community. We're not sending the data to a foreign place. People are trusting us. We have the self-administration interface where people can view their consumption. They will send money. They will purchase heating on a SMS or mobile pay or whatever. The heating will be entered into our system, and they will be able to consume what they have paid for. The meters themselves has a valve that is connected to the meter logger. They will close down the heating when you have consumed what you have purchased. They like that because they think that it's like buying wood and putting it in their oven. They can relate to that. And they are really happy when we close down heating because they can generate debt. And you don't get Christianites to pay their debt. That's just impossible. So we also use the same self-administration interface to diagnose technical issues with the infrastructure. We have been able to detect if there is freezing temperatures where the meters are situated, and then we can go out and diagnose it and turn up the valve a little so there's like a steady minimum temperature. Yes, next. So we are regulating our heating according to the outdoor temperature, and we are only producing what is needed to keep a minimum of 60 degrees hot water. So we do that by filling up buffers locally, or we have ideas about it. We are doing it on a small scale right now, where we then can send out bursts of high temperature to fill up the buffers and keep a 60 degrees minimum. Yeah. And because it's a cooperative, we don't have an aim of selling more heating. We have an aim of selling less heating and earning less money. We decrease that by by nudging users to follow their consumption in real time and be like, as you said, they can see that, hey, I'm turning off my fridge and the second fridge and the third fridge, and it's actually stealing money from me. So yeah. And then we are doing everything in the out in the open. Early on we established that in order to get people to jump onto this system in Christiania, we needed to be trustworthy, and we did that by opening up all development on the internet. So everything is open source, everything is free for use. All designs for electronics, all designs for the heating furnace, everything is open source. And we have gained so much from the open source community because open source projects, they are licensed, so you can't just use them and then not open source your own stuff for the most of the part anyways. So building on open source made us able to move faster and be more agile because we could use already existing projects as foundation to build our own upon. And early on, we also, when we were starting out this investigation of if we could do our own design, we were running into closed NDAs for Comstop protocols and so forth. We spent a winter reverse engineering all the protocols and documenting them for free in order to educate other people. I come from DTU, where my education was to make this system, basically. And we consider the meters to have been freed now, and we are giving back the system to the hands of the users. Yes, no more cards.
Thank you very much, both of you. Are there any questions for either Christoph or Johannes?
Yeah. Yeah, the production, I'm just curious, it's probably a stupid question, but how do you produce energy?
Did you see the first picture? There was,
the very first picture, yeah.
So here you see some hands holding some pellets.
Yeah.
We use wooden pellets from green production in Sweden, I guess. What is it? Swedish pellets?
Yeah.
Pellets, yeah. So we are burning pellets and we are cleaning the air afterwards. Of course, this is not the most green way to go, but that part of the system can be changed out. But basically, we're not connected to the existing remote heating infrastructure of Copenhagen.
Yeah.
They didn't want us in. So.
Any other questions down there?
So this is actually more to Barry, because it sounds good that if you don't pay, you're okay with being cut off in Christiania, but there's also a smaller community. So how does that work in a big scale? Because I'm actually with a debt collection company. So this is very interesting for me, because you're putting me out of business. Luckily, there will always be a lot of people that don't pay their bills. But this sounds good, because I also don't like the fact when we have to cut off power supply and then I have someone on the phone frustrated that they don't understand why they have high bills and they don't understand why they weren't notified and now they don't have power. So my question is, obviously you're ruling out the high bills. I get that. That makes a lot of sense. But you're still ending their power supply, and people are also frustrated about not having power. Yeah. People have, I had one who had insulin in their fridge, and she's like, you've got to turn it on. Yeah. So what do you do in that situation?
But I'm not sure about, I mean, is your question, we will still have people who will not pay, because it's a credit card based, right, for example. So if you change credit card, and you go on holiday and you don't listen to your phone calls or your email, then we can't draw on your credit card, just like if you change the credit card on Netflix, they cut down Netflix, right? If they can't draw on your credit card. So at some point we'll follow the same procedure as any other retailers and have an incasso deals and everything, and logo brochure and everything. So we'll still have the same process. Hopefully, it's all a matter of risk taken. How much do we go threshold-wise, and the bigger we get, the more we're gonna set up the level higher. So it's gonna be like every time you are close to 100 kroner, say, oh, you're only 100 kroner. Watch out! Are you ready for the withdrawal on the credit card again? So, but we will still end up in the same situation. Luckily for smaller bills, hopefully, because we have a quick warning. So it'd be like, okay, now you're minus 50, minus 100, minus 200. So that's at least a good thing. It's gonna be small debt collection, small frustrated people.
But you will still have to cut it off.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course. There's no free lunch, of course.
Okay,
so we can work together.
Two more questions and then we go on. Right there. Philip? No, yeah.
No,
sorry. Only one question. Anders?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very impressed, I must say. I worked with district heating in 40 years and I didn't know this stuff. But two questions. One is this model, I know really you prove that you are as a part of the Danish spirit. Some people collect very good cases on how our cooperative movement has been developing. Yeah. It was a very great example. Maybe you could sell your system, maybe not all, but some of it, to many small villages around in Denmark, also establish neighbor heating or
also
heating or something.
Also andelsboliger and boligforeninger is also a target that we, if we were business-minded, we could go that direction. We closed down business-minded ideas many years ago. But if somebody
open source, people can find it.
If somebody wants to, they can take the whole project for free and do the business.
Yeah.
but it would make sense for andelsboligforeningen as well.
And the small release where
Yeah.
actually private homeowners want to establish something similar.
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. I would say that just to on the, it's very short question.
Yeah, it's a brief question. In terms of your service for Barry, how much is the actual savings per month for an average household? How much are we talking in monetary terms that can be saved by using your?
I don't think I wrote on the slide you can save money with Barry, so it's not really something that we are talking a lot about. We're not trying to, of course, with the pure spot price, your question is relevant, and there's going to be a correlation, like the higher consumption, the bigger the savings versus the current suppliers. But if you have small consumption with a small apartment, it won't be a big saving, depending on which you slide. So we're not branding ourselves as being the cheapest. We're not netto power for good reason. So,
Okay.
we know it's small. We know it's
There's one thing to that.
No, I think we need
take it afterwards.
to go up. Just
Thank
to
you.
sum up this, no, please stay up here.
Yeah.
I would sum up saying that you might have a different business model, but still,
Spirit is the same.
both of you are very enthusiastic, and that's what I really like. So thanks a lot for both of you.
Thank you so much.
We hurry on. Philip, you're